Let me tell you an incredible story. It's a story about a king who bet the future of his entire nation on a single, daring prediction about the stars. This is a tale of science, royalty, and survival, all rolled into one.
And that line, it says everything. We're not talking about some king who relied on mystics or prophecies. We're talking about a man who used pure, cold mathematics to gamble everything on one spectacular celestial event.
So, let's dive right into this impossible bet. You've got to understand, the stakes could not have been higher. And pretty much everyone, and I mean everyone, thought he was about to fail spectacularly.
Okay, so picture it. It's 1868. You're in Siam. This is a time and place where ancient traditions are basically the law of the land. Cosmic events aren't seen as physics, they're seen as the work of powerful, mythical beings.
And this really shows you the incredible clash of ideas going on. On one side, you have the ancient belief, a giant dragon is about to literally swallow the sun. But then you have King Mongkut stepping forward and saying, no, actually, it's a predictable alignment of celestial bodies, and it's going to happen at this exact spot, at this exact time. I mean, how radical is that?
And the pressure he was under was just insane. It wasn't just his own court, his own people, who thought he was nuts. You had seasoned astronomers from Britain and France, the scientific superpowers of the day, publicly doubting him. He was completely on his own with this.
Which leads us to the big question, right? How on earth did he know? How could the king of this, seemingly faraway kingdom make a claim that even European experts were side-eyeing? Well, to get that answer, we need to rewind the clock a bit.
You see, the king's secret weapon wasn't his crown or his royal power. It was the incredible knowledge he picked up in a totally different chapter of his life, one that most people never knew about.
Before he was king, he spent 27 years as a Buddhist monk. But he wasn't just meditating in isolation. He used that time to become fluent in languages like Latin and English. And that unlocked this whole new world for him, the world of Western science texts. He got so good, he was actually finding and correcting errors in European star charts.
And this wasn't just some academic hobby for him. He immediately saw a practical use for it. He noticed that the traditional calendar his people used was inaccurate. It was drifting out of sync. So he applied his new skills to fix it, blending cutting-edge Western science with Siamese tradition.
Okay, so fast forward, we're back in 1868. The king has all this knowledge, and now he's ready to put everything, his name, his power, and really his nation's future, on the line.
And his prediction was just unbelievably specific. Not just the date, August 18th, but the precise location, a tiny little village called Wakor. He was so confident, he sent out formal invitations to international VIPs, including the British governor of Singapore and a whole team of French scientists, basically daring them to come and watch him be right. Because this was never just about watching an eclipse. This was a high-stakes geopolitical chess move. We're in the age of aggressive colonialism here. If he failed, Siam would be labeled as backwards, superstitious, the perfect excuse for a European power to swoop in and take over. This was a scientific declaration of independence.
So the big day finally arrives, all the preparations are made, the world's experts are gathered, and then a problem that no amount of math can solve arises: the weather. The sky that morning was just a blanket of thick, gray monsoon clouds. You can just feel the tension, everyone thinking this was all for nothing. And that brings us to it, the climax, the moment where decades of quiet study and a nation's fate would be decided in just a few short minutes. Then, at 11:36 a.m., the exact moment King Mongkut had predicted, something incredible happened. A break appeared in the clouds, and the sky began to grow dark. It was happening, right on schedule,
For a full 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Not close, not in the ballpark, but precisely as he'd calculated. A total solar eclipse plunged the landscape into darkness. The European scientists were just speechless, absolutely floored.
And here's the real kicker. When they all compared their notes afterward, the French team's calculations were actually slightly inaccurate. King Mongkut's were perfect. He hadn't just proven he was their equal in science, he'd just proven he was better.
It was an absolute, undeniable victory, a moment of pure triumph. But that triumph, the very act that secured his nation's legacy, it came at a devastating personal cost.
See, what he did that day wasn't just astronomy. It was diplomacy at its most brilliant.
He held up his mastery of science as a shield, sending a crystal-clear message to the colonial powers. We are not a primitive land you can conquer. We are a modern, sovereign nation.
But here's the heartbreaking twist. That perfect viewing spot in the village of Wakor, it was in a malaria-infested jungle. During the trip, the king was bitten by mosquitoes. Just a few weeks after the greatest scientific achievement of his life, King Mongkut died from the fever. He literally gave his life for that moment.
And for that incredible work, and for that ultimate sacrifice, he is revered in Thailand to this day as the father of science. His legacy is about so much more than an eclipse. It's about using knowledge as the ultimate tool for freedom.
The story of King Mongkut really leaves us with this one powerful question to think about. It shows that sometimes knowledge isn't just about curiosity or discovery. Sometimes understanding how the world works is truly a matter of survival.